Hi fellas. Regarding Islam and the Islamification of Europe and the migrants explosion and what have you, has to be said that France, Denmark and Holland seem to have a much better handle on it than you do in the UK. Definitely. As you see, Denmark's already banned kosher and halal meat, which is excellent as far as I'm concerned, and most Western people are concerned. If you don't know what halal is, it's this halal and kosher is basically, they get the animal, they string it up by its rear hooves, and they walk up to it and they cut its throat, and it's left to die, bleeding to death. Usually takes about 15-20 minutes to die, and the thing's terrified. It's, you know, the goat or sheep's bleating for its mother, and it's a horrible business. And then they proceed to start gutting it before it's even properly dead. But yeah, and as with Boris Johnson's letterbox jokes, very funny. Although I think they look more like assassins personally in the burkas. They've been banned as well from Holland. They're going to be banned from Hungary. They're already banned in France. You get it on the spot fine in France, and obviously if you keep wearing it, you keep getting fined. Quite right too, in my opinion. Here we are, denounced as anti-Semitic by Jewish leaders. Yeah, it's a brutal business, isn't it? The reason we're so bought in the UK and why Sharia, we've become Sharia compliant, is because basically we're Labour Party. If you go to like London or Luton or Rotherham or Yorkshire, like 95% of the councillors are Asians, are people of not of white European heritage. I've seen the actual photographs of them, you know, whether they're actually Islamic or whether, you know, they will be Islamic, you know, because they're very dominant. They've been told, these are the Labour Party's new power base. You know, the working people have given up on them now, because they used to be financed by the unions, the trade unions in the UK, Labour. That's how it started, basically, in the 1800s. But their best buddies now are these Islamic people, and they've got a proper crowbar at local politics level. They've packed, as I say, I've seen the photograph of the Telford and the Rotherham councillors, and as I say, Telford, all but one. Only the chairperson is plainly white European. All the rest are Islamic people. All of them. And you know, this is how dominant and how invading and how wicked it can be. Anyone that's read anything about the religion of peace, their books, knows it's never been anything but violence and racist and totally supremacist. In their books it says they are the rightful masters of the earth. You know, I mean, this Islam, it has killed about 250 to 300 million, depending whose figures you believe. It's an awful lot of people. It makes World War II suffering look minuscule compared to the people it's killed. And of course, every Ramadan, of course, they have the Ramadan bombathon, and they do kill in Iran and Iraq and what have you, and you know, Iraq now, since Saddam's gone. They were more terrified of Saddam than of each other, and he kept them all under control, as with Bashar al-Assad. But once these totalitarian leaders have gone or been done away with, yeah, they just revert to savagery, because their leader, their 7th century leader, old Mo, oh yes, old Mo, he's notorious throughout the world, old Mo. Our World War II Prime Minister read extensively of their holy writings, and he stated in his book in River Wars in 1898 that a man filled with Islam, it behaves and is just like a dog with rabies, hydrophobia, he called it. And if you ever seen a dog with rabies, I've seen video of a dog with rabies, and they just run around biting anything, biting anyone, you know, biting each other. They're just vicious and uncontrollable. And this is what our wise, honoured, quite brave Prime Minister Winston Churchill said, who was also an award-winning writer. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature. So you'd think they'd pay more attention to them, to a great man like that, a great hero of Britain like that, than they do of all these little arseholes and the county council officers and in the colleges and the universities who've indoctrinated everybody to think, oh, it's so peaceful, and oh, don't speak ill of Islam. Well, Islam's pretty wicked. It's absolutely wicked. It's killed vast numbers of people. It's castrated, slaved. It's stoned to death, you know, vast numbers of women, subjugates women, cuts women's privates to bits with razor blades. Or still, in the UK, in the USA, it's holding little girls down and cutting out their sensitive bits. And this is this so-called religion of peace. So as you see though, Denmark, Holland, France, numerous other countries, they're not having it. They're banning the burqa. They're closing shops in France. There was an article I was just reading then, and there's a shop in France that used to be a general store, and it's gone to now halal only. And they've said if they don't start selling alcohol and catering for the older members of the community that's hung around, they're going to close it down. This is what I mean. This is why they don't want to settle in France, you see, because we don't manage to control the governments like they are in the UK. See you guys. Bye-bye.